Hey D,
What's up, my ninja?
2 days of speaking with this
Mhm.
with this potential client, you're able to close a $4,500 deal. That is awesome. That is that is 101, especially on a plane. Please introduce yourself here. Your name, what you're doing, what you're offering your clients, what you are doing for work, all that stuff.
Well, hey, my name is Dee Collins. My name is actually Deneen, but it's really hard for people to remember or pronounce, so I go by Dee.
Okay.
And I am a student of Rene Lacad. Lorenzo has been there for me from the very, very beginning. So I work as a media and marketing director. I'm also an author. I'm an inspirational speaker, and I love to travel. So I'm a travel enthusiast and definitely in on this social media thing. So I'm an entrepreneur. That's who I am.
And then so I guess what you do for work, it's pretty related to what we do here, right?
There's a couple of different things because I do have a job that I go to. So
Hmm.
I'm working on transitioning into being a full-time entrepreneur.
Okay.
And I'm using the things and the tools that I have through Rockstar Marketing to help me to make that transition. I think going back with my journey, I started, I believe, on the program maybe, I think it was July of
Yeah.
2024. I believe, I can't believe that it's been over a year so far.
In that
But I
long.
also have a consulting company.
Okay.
So I've had the consulting company since before I had the job that I work on. And so I would take on different consulting clients, basically in business consulting and like marketing consulting.
Yeah.
So the social media piece has just been really key in
Okay.
that.
What made you, of course you want to be an entrepreneur, but what made you choose social media marketing in the first place?
I've done seminars and I've done stuff in the past, and I work with a lot of people
Mhm.
or have worked with a lot of people that, they have their own particular program and their own particular niche. So I was working with people, and the first thing, like right, um, when I joined this program, then, people, they just started seeing what I was posting on social media because I decided, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to post on my own page. And so I started posting, I work with people on social media. I put it like in my profiles and stuff.
Mhm.
And then people just started contacting me because they saw what I was doing. Because I immediately used all of the information that I received through the course to enhance my own social media as well, so that I could extend my reach. And then people started reaching out to me, and those people started referring me to other people as well.
That's one of the best things about social media, or marketing in general, is not only can you amplify like the presence for your clients, you can also implement this to your own thing too, right? So it's a skill it's a skill that like that's very transferable.
Mhm.
And I guess since you started learning social media marketing with us, how are things going so far? Like if you had to go back to when you first got started, what was like the biggest learning curve for you?
One of the things that I love most about the course, which a lot of people may not understand or they may not think is important, is the foundational pieces. So the course doesn't start out just telling you this is how you do, social media marketing. This is how you get a customer right away. But he starts with, vision. He starts with your why. He starts with the foundational pieces that you need. And I know, like me, when I started the course, I was like, I don't even know if I have money for the course, for this extra stuff. And I want to know, Renee, tell me how I can make money right now, today,
You
because like
know, a lot of
rent is
people say the
due,
same thing.
right?
Like a lot of
But
people have the same take.
yes, but the foundational pieces are so important because I really can't explain it, but you need it. It's just like you got to build a house on a solid foundation or whatever you're
The
building.
foundation is very, very important. And the foundation is so important to me, I believe, is because even though it's pretty simple, I don't want to say it's easy, right? So there's times where you're doing the outreach, reaching out to businesses, and you feel like you're not doing the right thing, or you feel like you're stuck, or it just feels too hard. If you have a really strong foundation, you remember your why, you remember your reason why you're doing this in the first place. It's gonna allow you to and push you to continue going, right? And
Yes.
eventually, right? When you get your
Mhm.
first client, and it feels so much better when you have that foundation. It feels so much better. Going after or reaching out to businesses. There's times where I almost wanted to give up when I first got started, but
Mhm.
because I had a very strong why, that I couldn't let myself quit.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I love this social media piece also. It's because people need it. Social media is the way of the present and of the future. And if businesses are going to survive in this day and time, they need people to assist them with their social media. I'm the kind of person, I listen to a person's needs. I listen to, what kind of goals they have for their business. What do they want to achieve? And then I just put together a proposal and I send it over to them based upon what they told me.
Basically, yeah, you're trying to figure out like, hey, how can I genuinely help you? What do you genuinely need, and what can I provide for you? Like a good example, like what's your niche?
Well, actually, I work in different spaces, which is
Different
really
spaces.
crazy. So
Okay.
I do work with a lot of people who are entrepreneurs and they have their own particular niches and they have events and like online courses and things like that. So I do work with that crowd. Now, there's three main. So I work with people who also want to do book publishing. That was my most recent thing, and I'm doing a social media launch for their upcoming book. But I also like somebody reached out to me and it was in a niche I had never worked in before, which was really, really weird. So it was like in what's it called? It was like handyman, like a handyman,
Uh,
like home repairs, maintenance, and
okay.
plumbing.
Let's talk about your clients too, by the way. So how many clients since you've been with us, how many clients you think you've had?
I don't have an exact number, and I was thinking I probably should have thought about that before I get on, but I don't have like a huge amount of clients, but I have consistency in my clients.
Okay.
And I've had, even people reach out to me in the community and they ask me like, are you doing the deal finder? And I'm like, not yet, but I'm definitely going to do it because it's on my list. My business is still growing, and if I can work smarter and not harder, the deal finder is the way to do that. So,
I also started without the deal finders because it simply didn't exist when I first got started, right? You can run with regular shoes, but there's also like shoes made for running.
oh yeah, give me those
Or,
high performance
or you can,
Nikes. I
yeah, you
want
can
those.
walk to your destination, or you can run your destination, or you can
hmm
start over. That's what the deal finder is. Like in our program, we teach you. We don't want everyone to. You don't need the deal finder. You don't absolutely
hmm
need it to be successful. You've been successful without it. I've been successful without it. However, is it a game changer? Does it save you so much time and effort? Yes, it does. So it is worth it. But for the person who's like, hey, do I need it? I'm never gonna tell you you absolutely need it, but recommend. I highly recommend it. Um,
One thing is you always got to start. Regardless of what toolbox you're dealing with, you have a toolbox.
let's talk about a little bit more about your clients. So, you have a recent win. Let's talk about your recent win. You closed the deal while you were in an airplane.
Okay, so this is what happened.
That's
So this
insane.
this this person came to my event that was
Okay.
on the ship. Okay, so they approached me, and I'm teaching social media to all of these people that are on this event. And they mentioned something to me while I was on the event. They're like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
want to do this or whatever." So I'm like, "Okay." So I talked to them about it. We never got a chance to really connect because it was really, really busy and we had a whole program. But I told them I wanted to get started with them, and I was able to use the positioning of the time of year to
Yeah.
also promote that because I'm like, let's get you success before the end of 2025. It's not too late to start for that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was in a plane and I'm thinking about this. I was like, okay, I just spent a bunch of money on vacation. I need to get this deal closed. So what I'm going to do? So I'm on the plane and I connect to the Wi-Fi on the plane. And
Uh-huh.
so I actually used Chat GPT and I helped it. I was like, I want to do this. This is the kind of proposal I need. I
Yeah.
need like these packages. And so it came out with the whole thing. And so, yeah, I slammed it in. Got out a Word document. I did a copy and paste. I tweaked a couple of things. I
Uh-huh.
saved it as a PDF and I emailed the proposal from the plane. So I was like, so maybe by the time this flight lands, maybe I'll have an answer or at least I'll have a head start on, getting the proposal
Yeah.
out. So, yeah, it was closed, probably within 24 hours of that, I had the money in the bank. And
No.
I offered a 10% discount to pay in full. Well, first thing, okay, so I have gone to business school in the past, but I'm telling you, from courses like the one that Renee offers,
Yeah.
you learn so much more that you can use in the real world than you learn. Like I have an MBA and I've used more from this course than I've gotten from my MBA
Wait, wait,
that
wait.
I I don't know how
That is
many
awesome. But let me ask
thousands of
you this.
dollars for.
That is awesome. But let me ask you this. I'm still stuck on this part. How much was the deal?
Okay, so I offered them, I put together three packages. And
Okay.
I did learn in business school that when you offer three packages, that the majority of people, probably 80 to 90%, are going to take the middle package because it's not too small and it's not too big. And actually, somebody won the Nobel Peace Prize in business for this particular principle. That's why when most people go to a drive-through restaurant, a fast food restaurant, most of them order a medium drink instead of a large and instead of a small. And it comes from that particular even
Whoa.
scientific fact that somebody won the Nobel Peace Prize
Yeah,
for.
that's a little too
Okay,
much.
if
This is a little not enough. Let me
what
get
was
it
it?
right in the middle.
So I put together three packages. The first one was around $1,200. The largest one was about $8,900. And the mid-range package, I made it $4,997. But I said, if you want to pay in full, I'll give you a 10% discount. Or you can give me 50% down and pay 3 months of payments.
Okay.
So anyway, so I'm working with somebody. So this person is really kind of like, I'm not going to reveal the secrets, but they're in a financial type profession.
Mhm.
And so when they saw the 10% off, they're all about saving money. So they're just like, I think, well, the first thing they said, I was like, hey, did you get my email? And they're like, yeah. I said, have you decided on a package? They're like, yeah, I think I'm going to go with the mid range, which I knew that that was more likely that they were going to do. And I said, oh, I said, are you going to pay in full or are you going to do the deposit and a payment plan? And so they just responded full, which is what I posted.
10%.
And I was like, oh, well, great, you get 10% off. So it was 49.97, and then with the 10% off, it came out to about 44.97.
44.90.
But I got it all at once. So
So
yeah.
you were on the plane coming home from vacation. You whipped up a proposal for 4997 with a 10% off. You just whipped it up mid-flight. You sent them the proposal. Within 24 hours, you closed a $4,500 deal.
Yep.
That is that is 101. You're probably the first person to ever do that.
It isn't repeat. It was like a one-time payment,
Yeah,
but that's the same client that 2 days ago they sent me a referral. So I'm working on setting up the meeting for the referral. And the great thing about that is they're probably going to say, man, how much did she charge you? So they're already going to have an idea. They're not going to be surprised when they get my referral my proposal of how much I'm going to be charging for what I
that
did.
is awesome. So not only did you close the deal on the plane, but now you're working on the next one from a referral.
Yes.
That is huge. And what are you offering as far as like what's your offer? Are you offering them like paid ads? Are you offering them organic
Well, it
content?
depends on what they need, because my clients have different needs. So basically, what I do is I listen to what they want and what they need, and then I put together a proposal based upon those things. So usually I'll meet with them, a pretty short meeting, 15 or 20 minutes, on Zoom or just over the phone or through email, and they'll tell me what they want, and then I'll take, those bullet points and then I'll feed that into, like Chat GPT to help me develop the proposal. And I'll tweak it because I want to personalize it and make sure it has like my stuff in it and sounds like my voice and everything. And then that's what I do.
2 days of speaking with
Mhm.
this potential client, you're able to close a $4,500 deal. That is awesome. That is that is 101, especially on a plane. Awesome. If there's and I have just one last question for you too. If there's anything you could say to someone who was like in the same position as you were when you were first getting started, looking to achieve the same goals as you, what would you say to that person?
Don't let fear stop you, because there's a huge amount of success awaiting you. And also, it's not just about your success, but there are people out there that are waiting for you to do what you were meant to do. And if you know in your heart and your spirit that social media is it, and this is your home and your place and your starting ground, just keep moving forward no matter what. But just keep going because it's a part of the process. So don't let fear stop you,
There were so
basically.
many times, like even for myself, that I felt like I wanted to quit reaching out to these businesses. I've had a potential client for like 10K, about to go
Mhm.
through. Next thing you know, after the meeting, we didn't close the deal, and I was like, man, I don't know if this is for me, right? I could have quit,
Mhm.
and that would have been true failure. True failure is when you decide to quit, right? But just because I didn't close that $10,000 deal at the time, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going, and I'm gonna get the next client, or I'm gonna find another client that eventually will close, which is what I did. Eventually, I continued to go, and eventually, I landed another client, right? And
Absolutely.
I would have, if I just decided to quit because I didn't land that $10,000 deal, I wouldn't be here today, right?
Hmm.
So it was never it's like it's just true again, true failure is just when you decide to quit. So if you just never quit, you're eventually going to succeed. It's inevitable if you put the reps.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
That
Lorenzo.
was lovely.
So,
Thank you so much for
yeah.
getting on this interview. Appreciate your time.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate Renee. I appreciate the whole team. And I appreciate everybody that's in part of the community
Let's
because
go.
the community is very supportive. You get in there, you could do the group chat, or if you do post something a student wins, people are showing up for you every single day. So I'm
That's
going to
right.
be there. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be showing up for people. And I said, now I call myself now that I got my roar back, the queen of the business jungle. So I said, well, every time
Love
something happens in my business that makes me want to cry, I just decided I'm going to roar instead.
it. I'll see you in the live calls. I love it, D.
Okay. All right, Lorenzo. All
Have a
right,
good one. And if you want
everybody.
to
Thank you.
book that call with me so we can talk about.
Yeah, yeah, I am definitely. I want to learn more about that.
All right.
Okay. God bless you. Take
Have a good one.
care.
God bless.
Wishing everybody success.
You too.